Yeah, so fathers, I would say take your time. Do not beat yourself up. There's always tomorrow. There's always the next hour. And always, when you wrong, let your kids know that you wrong and you made a mistake and how you're going to course correct. I know at times we can be like, hey, my kids will never know that I'm wrong because I don't want to seem weak or whatever. When you show your kids weakness and not showing weakness but how to handle and manage weakness, you actually are seen stronger than ever. You're seen as a superhero who can take a punch and then keep up and keep on moving. Because you even think about it, from Iron Man to Batman, to even Superman, they all have a weakness, and we've seen them fall to their knees, but we've seen them get back up. And that's really like, let's show our kids how to manage weakness and how to come back stronger.
Sneakers on the pavement, life in motion, cars in the driveway, dreams stay rolling. Sneakers, cars, leadership, how you move tells the world what you represent. Yeah, lead himself first, that's the foundation. Influence over titles, real conversations, friendships, marriage, parenting with purpose, working life balance, community service, footwear and rides, yeah, we talk that too. But it's really about the choices and what you do. Mentors grow, overcoming pressure, leading by example, that's the measure. From the streets to the boardroom, we all lead. Sneakers.
So we're gonna go into being a father.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, do you remember what was going through your head when you had your kids?
Yeah, so I'll talk about each one individually. So my first son, it was every single emotion I think a human being can have within a 3-4 hour period. And that's what was going through my head. You know, we got to the moment, son's about to be born. And for whatever reason, there was this moment of health scare where my wife had to be put into emergency C-section because my son, I think heart rate was dropping so low, a lot was going on. And they pushed me to the side. They got her ready and wheeled her out of the labor and delivery room to take her to the emergency surgery. And they said, hey, we'll come back and get you. And it was one of those moments from back in the 90s, those TV shows where the main character is sitting down in a chair or a couch by themselves and there's sad music playing and there's weeping going around. Either they're having some self reflection or they're crying about a moment. That's what I had. It was me sitting on a couch looking across an empty room with blankets everywhere, cords, everything, whatever they had thrown everywhere to rush her out. And they left me by myself. And in that moment, all I can do is say, God, I don't know what to do, but save my wife and my son. And I was by myself. And then the funny part came where I think my mom came back and said, "Oh, we forgot about you. Are you okay?" I was like, "I am now, I guess," but I had to figure it out. And they finally came and got me, and it was so much joy as I was at the top part when they were doing the C-section, just kind of coaching her through and being there for her while she was high out her mind. And you know, my son was born. They brought him to me around the curtain, and it was just like, wow, I can't go back now. Like this is real. You're a father. You got to do this. Uh, my youngest son, when he was born, I was like, I've been through this. It was more intriguing. Like I was down there investigating, not to be TMI. Like, okay, what's going on? Is this coming out? And we had music playing. It was nice. It was like boom, and then she pushed him out. It was like comes out head full of hair, like he's here. My daughter, it was a whole. It was like it was so intimate. There was like a diffuser in there. It was like rain sounds, worship music playing in the background. It was like her whole village of girlfriends came out because they were all nurses to be around her. And in that moment, I just felt like released and relaxed. And then my daughter was born, and that's when like this feeling of fight and protect came up. to the point like if the nurse picked her up wrong, I was about to just jack the nurse up. Like, you grabbing her too hard. They knew what they're doing, but at that moment, it was like this, just like this protection of, hey, I want to put a whole shield around her, and anything she can he can be two like a millisecond into doing her cry, and I'm there to figure out what's going on. Like, I did not leave my daughter's side at that moment, and it was funny. My wife was like, "Well, what about me?" Because this is running joke that she's like, "You're gonna put me second once once your daughter is born." I was like, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." Yeah, it really just kind of just all came in that moment when my daughter was born.
Nice. All right. So, what was it like being a dad for the first time?
It was it was everything that I did not know it was. It was it was joy, it was happiness, it was sadness. It was like, what is going on? We were broke at the time. I mean, we were broke. So it was like, I don't know how to put food in your mouth and put food on the table. Working long hours, but then trying to come home and spend time. And I didn't think he liked me because all he did was cry when I was around, but obviously because my wife wasn't working at the time, so she was always around him. I wasn't. It was chaos, and everything was not everything. And it was just like, who do I call? And this is where it's like, hey, not having a father, there was no one to call to be like, hey, dad, like, this is what's going on. What do I do? There was no one to call. The only father I had was God. And then leaning on my father-in-law. So it was, and then I was the first one out of my crew. So out of all the fellas to have a child. So I couldn't call my homies up like, hey man, what are you doing in this situation? And it was like, hey, yeah, I don't know what to do, Drae, because I've never had a newborn. So it was like being that first, and it was just really just out there, just really trusting God to figure this out.
Keep it raw.
Yeah. Is it
Yeah, it's like it's a little. It's like
is it out or is
you can hear just kind of ruffling a little bit. Yeah. Let's see. Let me see if that's
okay?
like every now and then we be moving out the ears. All right, talk a little bit.
Yo, how's it going?
But try not to move too much.
Okay, all right. If I do this, you hear anything?
Not
Okay.
really.
All right.
But yeah.
Okay.
Still rolling.
Okay.
So I'm going to the next question.
Okay.
All right. So, all right. What are the hardest moments that you have had so far?
And I'll talk in boy and daughter. With my sons, the hardest moment was trying to redirect my thought around, hey, I need to raise tough, strong boys. Like, no, don't cry, don't have an emotion, suck it up. And I will say, I learned within a couple of years that, hey, that's not what I want to do. It's about, hey, building strong, emotionally sound sons. And that really came because I had to go to therapy. When I went to therapy to figure my ish out, that changed the dynamic of like, okay, no, you can cry. You can have those emotions, really helping them be in tune with their emotions as soon as possible. For my daughter, the challenge is my baby girl. She's the youngest and she's a girl. And it's really those things of, hey, you can call it, hey, she letting her get away with everything. But so really just trying to be that dad to say, hey, you can do whatever you want, be wherever you want. Dad's gonna be here to protect you and help you. So it's trying to find that balance of letting her grow and be who she wants, but also showing her, one, how a man should treat her, but it's two parts. Showing my daughter how a man should treat her. I date my daughter, we spend time together, the whole nine, open the door. I even teach my sons, open the door for your sister, so on. But it's also showing my daughter how to treat men. So really trying to control, like, yelling and screaming, at your brothers, at daddy, being understand like, hey, you're gonna hear no from time to time, but how to respond to that. So that's kind of what I'm navigating through now.
Nice. All right. So, What are your dreams for your kids?
Yeah, it used to be like, oh, I want my son to do, be this sports player, be this player, and daughter do this. I just want my kids to be able to do what they want to do and what God has purposed them to do. And I just want to make sure that I'm locked in with God on that. I'm cultivating that if their purpose is to do X, I'm doing everything around X to make sure they can get to that purpose with minimal obstacles versus me trying to push them to what I have desired for them to do and what I think their purpose should be. So that's really my dream is that they are doing what they love to do, uh, and having fun at it while they do it.
So what advice would you give father?
Yeah, so fathers, I would say take your time, do not beat yourself up. There's always tomorrow, there's always the next hour. And always, when you're wrong, let your kids know that you're wrong and you made a mistake and how you're going to course correct. I know at times we can be like, hey, my kids will never know that I'm wrong because I don't want to seem weak or whatever. The When you show your kids weakness and not showing weakness, but how to handle and manage weakness, you actually are seen stronger than ever. You're seen as a superhero who can take a punch and then keep up and keep on moving. Because you even think about it, from Iron Man to Batman, to even Superman, they all have a weakness, and we've seen them fall to their knees, but we've seen them get back up. And that's really like, let's show our kids how to manage weakness and how to come back stronger.
All right. Kind of bonus question.
All right.
First, so you can answer it how comfortable you want to answer.
Okay.
Uh, Being that you're such a powerful person, a great father, powerful figure in the community, if you have a chance to speak to your father right now, what would you say?
Wow. Whew, that wasn't in the pre-read. Um, um, if I had a chance, I would tell my father is tell me why you weren't around and tell me how do we make up for lost time. I don't feel it should be the son's responsibility to know and figure out why, and I don't think it should be the son's responsibility to make up for lost time. The son's responsibility is to receive and forgive the father for their mistakes or for their choices that had negative impacts, and also to be open and willing to make those bonds and connections when the father makes the first step. So I truly believe the father should make the first step. And so to my father, I would ask is just take the first step. And the reason why is some can say, oh, well, it's on you if that's what you want to do and that's what you need to do. I totally get it. But it is so hard and difficult to say it's just genuine if I am the son who did not choose this and did not force this, is then said, hey, let me build this bond, let me make this relationship. Because then when it just opens the son up to more hurt, and it puts a lot of pressure on the dad or on the father, because if you, dad, for whatever reason, does something small and minor, because I have put forth and opened up first, I'm very vulnerable. And so any small step or thing you do, I might take in the wrong way and shut down again. What allows me to feel comfortable and safe is if you come to me saying, hey, I want to do this, I want to make this bond. You open the door for me to walk in versus me opening the door that I don't know what's on the other side and just walking through. So that was what I would say to my father is open the door to let me in and I'll come in.
Well said. All right, man.
That's a wrap.
Just give the title, give who you are, and just take us out.
Yes. So, Drae Hubb, this is the documentary. So documentary. Doc is my childhood name. And this is just talking about, for the past 40 years, who I am, what I've done, what's a part of me, and just something I want to put together so my kids can have. But also, too, there's someone out there who might have been through what I'm going through, or been through what I went through, or potentially going through what I'm going through, and it might be some type of inspiration to me. So this is why I put this together. This is why it's placed on my heart. And huge shout out to my best friend, 3 going on 4 decades together in this game. Trey Gibson from Crown 1080, been there holding it down. I appreciate him taking his time, putting this project together. So look out, and hopefully it inspires somebody, because just doing this, it inspires myself.